Look at this dude. Wait till you see the. No, 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 no.
Not even a few months after Nintendo decided to raise their prices on all their games, the Switch 2, and their accessories, Microsoft has announced they'll be doing the same thing for the Xbox. The cheapest model Xbox now starts at $379 to $399, and now the Xbox Series X begins at $599 for the base console. You heard that right. So effectively, Xbox has risen prices over $100 on their mainline consoles, along with price increases across all their accessories worldwide. That's right, so if you want a controller now, it will be starting at $64 all the way to $200 if you'd like an Elite controller. So the same price as the overpriced DualSense Pro controller, which at the very minimum offers more customization, they're now the same price, for $200 for a controller at this point in time. And the bare minimum at Xbox, if you want the bare minimum controller, is now $65, so realistically $70 with tax. So you are matching Sony's absurdity with upcharging for controllers for $70. That's effectively what's being done here. Now this is a big deal. We have to be concerned about this, because if Xbox is willing to do all this again, then that means we're going to see this just continue to skyrocket. We're going to see the industry go kaput with these prices, okay? This isn't just a one-time thing. We saw Game Pass over time raise prices, and now we're seeing again, the consoles are raising prices, the accessories are having their prices risen across the board in almost every way. I don't think there's one accessory that got left out in terms of price hikes for the Xbox here. They're matching Nintendo at this point with what they've risen. And that's not even the worst part. They have effectively also announced that some first-party titles will be starting at $80 for certain games. And they never gave an explanation why. They only said that we know these prices are going to be challenging. But that's all they said. That's practically all they said in terms of what the prices mean, what they're supposed to be there for. Let's talk about Call of Duty. Call of Duty is the title that they have said verbatim is going to be $80 starting this year. $80 for the new Call of Duty game, which is probably going to be Black Ops 7. So $80 with Black Cell, with bundles. You're going to be spending well over $100 for the base fucking game and the Battle Pass and cosmetics. When is it enough, Xbox? When is it enough for you? When is it enough money? We know that the Xbox is not outselling any console at this point. It is the least sold console of the big three. So when is it enough for you to just call it quits and go full third party, or just make it a Steam machine or something, like a Steam Deck but for a console? That would actually generate some excitement, maybe some sales. Oh wait, you can't, because you're also a PC company. You also have PCs, which you could just buy instead of getting an Xbox. It makes no sense to me. Why would you ever get an Xbox at this point now with these prices when you can get one, a PlayStation 5 Pro, which I believe is cheaper here in the United States. So $700 for the base PlayStation 5 Pro against the Series X. The Series X is objectively inferior, and all the mainstream games, Gears of War Reloaded just got announced to come to PlayStation 5, Forza, PlayStation 5, and Halo is more than likely coming. It's been leaked several times. So at this point, why would you buy an Xbox when you can move over either to PlayStation, get a Steam Deck, get a Switch 2, which is cheaper than a Series S with 1 terabyte, mind you, because the half terabyte model you can play like maybe 3 games on it. So realistically, the 1 terabyte model Series S is more expensive than getting a Switch 2. Why would you just not get a Switch 2 if you're looking for a cheap gaming device, or maybe look for a PlayStation 5? You can get a PS5 Slim for $379, $400, far cheaper and far better hardware, instead of getting a Series S. It doesn't make sense. It truly does. It blows my mind what Phil Spencer and the Microsoft team are thinking. But you know what? Maybe it was just all part of the plan all along. Remember, Phil Spencer did revive Xbox when they were on the brink of death with the Xbox One. Okay, the Xbox One, which I unfortunately did purchase at release. I was a fool back then. He did revive that console. He actually made it somewhat worth it with backwards compatibility, bringing value, cutting the prices down. He actually made the Xbox One have better value over time. But with this generation, it's gone the complete other way. Value has decreased. Initially at launch with the Series X, one of the great benefits was that you had backwards compatibility at release, along with better performance, all these good stuff. That's what made it actually have some value. It didn't have launch titles, of course, because the Xbox has no fucking launch titles anymore, but at the very least, you could get better performance across the board for any of your old games, and you got improvements as well with Series X improvements. But it's been 5 years, okay? It's been 5 years. That's not enough anymore. You have to bring more value to the table. Let's look at over what other consoles are doing, okay? PlayStation, let's see what they've brought. They've brought new games. They've brought a new console, the PlayStation 5 Pro, for better performance. They've generally brought more value overall to the consoles, along with the slim models. And it's actually gotten cheaper. If you look over on Amazon, you can get cheaper models. They've brought in more value for your money on the console. Yes, in terms of storage, it is slightly worse. However, at this point now, with the price increases, you can get that storage with this cheap SSD, put it on your PS5, and you effectively have more storage, spending less money than getting a 2TB Xbox or getting a 1TB Series S. You just get better value for your money that way. And I don't understand why Xbox insists on doing this. They're raising prices astronomically. I don't get it. And the Switch 2 doing this as well has been absurd, but not Xbox. Why would Xbox of all companies be doing this? I figured they were the most gaming friendly. That's what people have been telling me. That's what I've been seeing on social media, is that Xbox is the gaming friendly of the big three. No, they are not. Not with these prices. Not with what they're doing. Now look, I'm not excusing any company, okay? If Sony does it, which they have risen prices before, okay? So I'm not excusing them. I certainly didn't excuse Nintendo. I made a whole rant video about how they're charging more money. I'm doing the same with Xbox. It's only fair, and they have to be held accountable. This is our industry. The gaming industry as a whole is going to have a crash this year. It's going to have a crash this year. Now, I don't want to get too ahead of myself when I say that, because I do want to make a whole separate video talking about the gaming crash of 2025. But it is relevant. It's becoming a relevant point, because this is an industry that we all love. This is a hobby we share, okay? So when you see these prices going up, when you see the mindless consumers paying for all this, when you see Xbox is so comfortable just doing this, it makes you wonder, what's going to make them stop? Maybe a complete crash? Maybe stocks tanking? What's going to take it for them to say, hey, we charge too much money, we're going to start cutting prices across the board like we used to, instead of keep increasing them over and over and over until it's just simply unaffordable? There's going to be a point where it's just simply unaffordable anymore to play our favorite games. Yes, you could say, well, what about Game Pass? What about subscriptions? You're still paying for that subscription. There's no universe where playing through Game Pass or a subscription is free. When they start charging more money for games, you can bet that they're looking at Game Pass and saying, hey, how much money can we increase on Game Pass to make up for the fact that people aren't paying $80 to $90 fucking dollars for one game? Let's increase it even further, because at this point it is $20 for the maximum Game Pass per month. So that's what, $100 for 10 months? Something like that, or not even. I'm getting the prices confused. I'm literally in a bit of a rant right now, so I do apologize. But you're still paying. It's not free. It's not free. So really, Xbox, this is a really bad call. This is a really bad call, and it's going to lead to even worse things down the line. I'm very scared for the future of these games coming from Xbox specifically, because they can still put out decent games, okay? Even though they're third party, not exclusive, so you don't want to buy an Xbox anymore, they still put out some games. We just got the Elder Scrolls 4 remaster. That was a ton of fun. I can't wait to be playing that. That wasn't $80. And the new Doom game is coming out soon. Another Bethesda, another Xbox game. That's going to be $70. I can't wait to play that. It looks so freaking good. Even though it is, again, third party, so no Xbox. But still, they can still put out good games. You don't need to put these insane prices to sell it. You can keep it as is and people will buy it. Just, at this point, Xbox, this is what I'm suggesting. Go third party, okay? You can't remain a competitor anymore with these prices. At least when the Series S initially launched, you could undercut the competition with the $299 price point with the Series S, even though the hardware was pretty bad. But $429 and $599 respectively, hell no, okay? That's what I'm saying, hell no. Do not buy an Xbox at those prices. They are not worth it whatsoever. Their accessories are too expensive at this point. The PlayStation accessories are already too expensive. These are even worse because at least with the PlayStation ones, they feel great. I prefer the PlayStation accessories personally, but with the Series X, if you prefer those accessories, that's all on you. I'm just saying that I don't think the value is all there for what you're getting, and I don't think they justify these price increases whatsoever. But that's just me though. That's just me speaking about this because I think that they're just making a bad call. I think for the industry as a whole, this is a really not a good move whatsoever. Xbox, what are you doing? Phil Spencer, please. I know I've been preaching to the choir a little bit with this video, and I don't really aim to do that because I want this channel not to really harp on specific subjects like that for too long. But I have to make this video, and I have to make other videos discussing this as well, because this could very much damage the gaming industry even further. Why do these price increases when you know that people are looking for more affordable options? Why are you actively straying from your own community to raise prices? Do you have any viable reason, Xbox? Tell me right now. And I don't want to hear it in the comments about tariffs. If it was tariffs, why are prices going up in other countries too? The point is here, they're taking advantage of the situation. Microsoft, Xbox is taking advantage of the situation and deciding that it's okay if Nintendo can do it, so can we. Nintendo is selling out in Japan, so we can try to do that too in other parts of the world to redeem this sinking ship of Xbox. Whether these prices will be permanent or not, or if we will see a cut by the next generation of Xbox, we don't know, and it likely won't matter. At this point, it really just doesn't matter, because the next generation of consoles are on their way. Leaks have come out and suggested that Xbox's next console will be handheld, or they're working on a specific handheld similar to the Steam Deck and the Asus, so something that will be portable, clearly aimed for more PC gaming. And if that's true, they just need to find a good price point, and they might be able to make some profit off that, because again, the Steam Deck is successful. It has been very successful. The Asus is a really good option for portable gaming, so if Xbox can break into that market, hopefully they can find some success. But it's going to come down to good decisions, management, pricing. What's the pricing going to be on this thing? I don't know. No rumors have really circulated around the pricing yet. However, I do imagine it will be similar to the Steam Deck, maybe more expensive. If they intend to keep these high prices, we could see a $600, $700 starting price for their handheld. That's not going to sell in the slightest. And even if it does, you're still going to have to pay for those games. And I can't imagine paying $700 plus $80 plus $90, $100 just for games. I can't imagine that future, and I don't want to live in that future, though it looks like it's coming right towards us, and we need to stand up as gamers, put out our voices, vote with your wallet, and even not with your wallet, okay, because the mass media won't care. This video isn't going to get traction, but just vote, just say something, anything, just make your voices heard, because this is our industry. We care about gaming. These corporate suits do not, and Xbox has lost their way. They've severely lost their way with these moves. I don't see them coming back from this unless they do a complete overhaul for the next generation. Lower prices permanently across the board. Make Game Pass cheaper. Make Xbox Live free so that you don't have to pay for Game Pass to actually play online. Do these moves. You can salvage this. It's still salvageable. And exclusives are done at this point. There's not going to be any Xbox exclusives anymore. Just be done with them. Go completely third party. You can salvage this ship. But you have to be willing. You have to be showing us that you don't just care about this corporate greed taking advantage of tariffs. Okay? Do not take advantage of this. Use this as an opportunity to show that Nintendo's price hikes do not stand. But it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter, right? Because Xbox Call of Duty is going to be $70, $80 now. It already is $70. It's going to be $80 starting price. I don't even care anymore, okay? Xbox, it's just, you have sunk your own ship, and we're just watching it on live display. That's pretty much what we're seeing, and that's why I'm pretty much done with them, and why I think that we really should just make our voices heard with this kind of nonsense. It's just killing our industry, and really, I think Xbox, they've made a bad move. Phil Spencer, I really hope you, if somehow this video gets like 1,000 or so views, I'd really like to see if you could, I don't even know, I just want something to be done, because I hate these moves, man. Gaming is such a great hobby, but it's just becoming unaffordable. It's becoming unaffordable with these greedy tactics, and it's just a damn shame, because Xbox used to be consumer friendly and now they're not. Now that is the last bit of what I wanted to say, so this will be the end of this section of the video. Next week's video, or whenever I get the next video out, will be a second part discussing more about the gaming crash, which I did mention a bit earlier, because I do really want to discuss these things more in detail in specific subjects, and I think they deserve their own time. This was more specifically covering Xbox's specific issues, raising their prices, all that stuff. So just wait around and see, and you'll see the next part talking about that. I will be turning this into a bit of a mini series, so let me know if you guys really like this or if I should just condense the rest into one long video. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please hit that like button and subscribe. I could always use a new addition to the Dark Ops army. And however you feel about these price increases, let me know in the comments below. Do you own an Xbox? Do you think it's still worth having one? Let me know in the comments below. But this is Dark Ops. I'll see you guys in the next one. Dark Ops, signing off.